Hi everyone, it's Patty the Quiet Sister. Welcome back to my channel. For today's card share, I am creating 3 Easter cards using Simon Hurley's Easter Bunnies stamp set. I started off by using some basil cardstock, and I ended up stamping these I think 3 or 4 times. I need to re-ink my Hero Arts Unicorn White pigment ink. I love that ink though for coloring on craft cardstock. It works so great, and it works fairly well for no line coloring, especially when you're going to do white critters. So yeah, maybe 4 times I had to ink it up on one spot. So got everything set there, and then so that I don't lose some of the facial features, I come in with a fine point Sharpie. And you can use one of those little Copic pens too, and I color in the eyes and the eyebrows because I don't want to lose them. So I do that for each one, and I know it looks silly right now, but it's worth it because after you color it with your colored pencils, it softens the look, so it's not so harsh, but yet it still keeps the facial features and the characters. The look of the characters. And these guys are so cute. I mean, I don't know if it's the little eyebrows. I don't know if it's the bigger nose. I don't know what it is, but I just loved them. I enjoyed coloring them. I enjoy the look of them. They are darling. So once I get that done, I'm going to start with the pink portion. And I started with blush pink, which is Prismacolor 928. And I did the ears and the flower and the little ribbon around her neck. And I'm just going to show you, I'm not going to force you to watch me do all this coloring. But to start out then, I used my darkest color to outline. And that would be the 70% Cool Gray Prismacolor 1065. And I kind of outline it, and I do it in little circles. I know my big hand's in the way, but that's how I do it. And then I go over that with a lighter gray. And I use 30% Cool Gray, and it's PC 1061. So I go over the darker gray and then a little bit more in with the lighter gray. And then I do all my little circles with the white, and I color over all of the dark gray, the medium gray, and then I have the white. And you'll see me turn my paper a lot. And that's because I go one direction when I'm coloring, and then I turn it, and then I go another direction. So it's like a crosshatch, and it gives pretty good coloring that way. You don't want to color just one way and call it done. You want to do 2 to 3 layers of your color in order to get it saturated enough and to get the layers and the look that you want and to have it blend well. Now I don't use Gamsol or anything like that, but for those of you that do, it does help work with the Gamsol as well. So you'll notice I didn't outline the ears because at first this was a test bunny. I just wanted to see if I liked how this was coming out. I do stamp, I stamped the exact same thing on the back of this too, so if I didn't like this bunny, I had another one ready to go to color, and if I did like it, then no loss. So I did decide that I wanted the ears darkened as well, outlined. I liked the outline on the bunny. I didn't want it just a plain white against cardstock, although it was cute. I just wanted a little bit more contrast, so coming in with the dark, the medium, and then the white to get this little bunny done. And I will say it took a while to get all of these colored, probably about an hour and a half. And I was watching Married to Real Estate on HGTV, which interrupted too because I have to watch all their design features because I just love that show. So doing this, first layer of white, and then you'll see me come in and do a second layer, re-outlining. The brush is so, with Prismacolor, they're a waxy crayon, and it's to get the little bits that fall off so you don't run your hand over it and smear it. So now I'm coming in with the turquoise, and that one is the Cobalt Turquoise. It's PC 105. It's a beautiful color. And so I do, just like I did with the bunny, I outline it, and then I do little circles of the color to get it a darker shade, and then I go over that darker shade with the medium shade, which is Aquamarine, and that's PC 905, and then I went in with the lightest shade, which is Light Aqua, PC 992. So I completed and cut out all of the little critters using my brother's Scan and Cut, and I'm going to get ready for some backgrounds. So for this background, I just smeared the Hero Arts unicorn across that craft panel. Don't ink blend it. It takes forever to do it that way. Just rub it across. It's 30 seconds and you're done. So these 3 colors from Catherine Pooler are the colors I'll be using for the rest of the ink blending that I do. So I'm using Pixie Dust, Fiesta Blue, and It's a Girl. So then I put all of that aside and I got out my Altenew stamping wheel, and I'm going to start doing some ink blending for the background for the next 2 cards. So I'm using Simon Hurley's polka dot assortment stencils. So you get 4 stencils in there and they're great together, but this is the perfect size dots for what I wanted. In this, I am using a foam stamper blender thing from a Ranger with the dome. I love the dome, and getting the white unicorn ink in there so that when I blend the dye inks from Catherine Pooler over it, they appear a little brighter. They're not so muted from the craft cardstock. So I get that done. Coming in with It's a Girl, and I don't know if I'm using Pink Fresh Studio brushes or Catherine Pooler. They're both really great. Can't go wrong with either of them. And I am blending in It's a Girl first, and my thought was I'm going to do a third with It's a Girl and then do another third with the Pixie Dust. And then once that's done, I'll come in with Fiesta Blue. And the blue turned out to be a little bolder than I originally thought, but I ended up loving it. It really looked pretty on this cardstock. So getting that blended in, and honestly, because we put the pigment ink below it, it did not take a lot of ink to get this blended. So coming in with the Fiesta Blue, isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, I love that color. It's so pretty. And then taking that off. So then I have this stencil from Honeybee, and it's called Outdoor Scene Builder. And it's a set that comes with 4 stamps. So you can do like birch trees and mountains. It's really a great stencil set for creating outdoor cards. So because we had smeared the Hero Arts Pigment White ink across, we could have white cards and then just come in with the pink and the stencil for definition. And since this is going to a 5-year-old great niece, I feel like it's appropriate to have pink clouds. So now this is just me fussing and arranging things. It takes me quite a while to get all of this arranged, but I do eventually figure it out. I kind of knew what I wanted, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted. So I think that's kind of what I settle on right there. So just kind of finishing it up. There we go. I did make some changes later on. So once I decided that, I wanted to go ahead and get the shaker done. So I'm putting that in to the for the shaker. And what we didn't get to see, because someone forgot to turn on her camera, was that I had cut an egg out of the center of that panel recreated, and I'm using the egg on a different card, and then created a shaker window out of the negative on this. And I forgot to put the supporting parts on before I stuck it down, so I'm doing that quickly right now. And then for the filler, I didn't use everything you see here. I used the 3 Catherine Pooler. I used the Zanzibar, the Sophia, and the Lisbon sequins. And then I used the Pretty Pink Posh spring mix. And I used Pretty Pink Posh mini sparkling flowers. So it's full of all kinds of colors. And I used Pretty Pink Posh's clay flowers as well. So it's full of all kinds of sparkles for a 3-year-old girl. So she will love that. So getting all of this glued down. And again, just using Barely Arts glue. And then I'll come in once all of this is glued down, and I'll figure out what I want for the sentiment. And that little bunny running with the lavender egg on its head just cracked me up. So I'm bringing in some more of the Basil Craft cardstock, and I'm using either Happy Easter or Happy Easter. I can't remember which one out of the Easter Bunny stamp set. And of course I dropped my VersaFine ink. Why wouldn't I? So getting Happy Easter, getting that done. And I'll cut it out using Simon Says stamp banner dies. And I think we all know the trick where you take the banner die and cut it out, and then you adjust the banner die a little further down the sentiment so that it's evenly and has the nice border cut from the banner die. So this is what I'm doing. So just decided on a plain one. Didn't want a fancy shape. Not very smart to tape over where you've just stamped your sentiment. I will say that. A little bit came up, but it looked fine. But I was worried about it. So peeling it off, and then I'll move the die cut down a little bit so that I can run it through again so that I have the sentiment centered in on that strip. So taking it to my Empress, which I bought over a year ago, and it's probably the greatest electric die cutting machine I've used, and just gonna glue it up there. And so I do need to put a sentiment inside the card, but that card is pretty much done. I think I trim off a little. I see a little of the plastic sticking out. So now I decided I wanted a additional hill here. It adds dimension without making it bulky for the meal. And then I'm going to fuss over these pretty pink posh clay flowers for quite a bit. Trying to decide what I like. Do I want leaves in them? Do I not want leaves in them? I ended up adding more leaves at the end of it. You'll see. So, and I do, now that I'm looking at this, I do wish I just would have done all those flowers scattered like that. I thought they were I think they're adorable. It's kind of funny how when you're not looking at it straight above, you don't get the exact same look. And the Barely Arts glue works great for gluing down the clay bits. They have a little bit of wiggle room, but not a ton. So I showed getting the sentiment stamped in there. So these are the finished cards. And I want to thank everyone for stopping by. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a comment or an email, and I'll have all the details of the cards on my blog. Thanks so much again, and have a great week.